back to Class Firearms, guys. Kaya here with Jason.
Hey, what's going on, folks?
And we've got Neil McLean from Active Crisis Consulting Company and McLean Core Slings.
Yep. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Glad to have you here. Neil, what we want to talk about today is preferred barrel lengths for 5.56 guns, AR-15 specifically.
Okay.
And obviously, you're going to talk about it mission specific, what you're doing. Obviously, that's going to determine. But overall, let's see which barrel length is good for what. And maybe talk about a do-all barrel length. Is that good?
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, we can have that conversation. I'm not going to pretend to be the subject matter expert on that for sure. I can talk about like stuff I've worked with and my opinions, but
Perfect.
Definitely not going to be the one to dictate what you want to choose.
Sounds good. Well, I want to just pick your brains on what you use and why.
Okay.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
All right, before we do that, and real quick, touch base on Active Crisis. What do you guys do there?
Security company. We do everything from training law enforcement, executive protection, providing armed guards for facilities, red teaming, bigger government contracts. Pretty much a boutique security company that does a lot of different things that a lot of other companies can't quite do. Our reach back is kind of the biggest assets.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right, so Active Crisis, we obviously did a training event with Active Crisis. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check those out, like 4 or 5 videos. Fantastic company, awesome instructors, really good backgrounds. You guys definitely want to check them out. And now that we're talking about AR-15s, obviously here, that involves slings and McLean Core. You've got
I
your own
slings,
sling, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we got that as well.
Okay.
Honestly, to be honest, you guys are probably more experts on a lot of how these other guns are. I really am a subject matter expert on what I've used downrange, and that's what I would be more comfortable talking about because, a lot of it, I don't even know what these things are called.
Okay, well, let's kick it off with what you use. What was the barrel length? What are the barrel lengths?
Primarily like 10.5 inch, 14.5 inch.
All right, so
So 10.5 inch, we've got a Daniel Defense 10.5 inch right here.
Looks
it's in a pistol configuration.
Yep, looks very familiar. This is essentially a similar gun that I would run with downrange when I was in the teams. Great for the barrel length on being shorter, being able to clear houses and stuff like that. You're getting a decent amount of powder burn, decent muzzle velocity. Yeah, more of a CQB type gun.
Gotcha. Pretty good. And what do you think about engagement distance on this? Like, what do you feel comfortable at engaging at?
Max probably 400 or 500, being comfortable with. But that's really kind of pushing on that too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
I know guys that probably push a lot further, but that's not something I've got a bipod on. That's not something I'm really trying to reach out with. That's more of a
close quarter gun.
Close quarter
gun, right?
gun,
It's got a short barrel, easily maneuverable. Obviously, one of the shortcomings of a really short barrel when it comes to 5.56, even other calibers too, but we're talking about 5.56 here, is that concussive force, especially if your teammate is shooting next to you in a house.
Well, I mean, just don't be uncivilized about it. Shoot suppressed.
There we go. That's what we're talking about. Shoot suppressed.
Day Class A, pinky out.
Right? I mean, what we have over here is a 5.5 inch. It's 5.56, guys.
It's adorable.
This is really cute. Doesn't even hurt. Yeah. But seriously, can you imagine shooting this thing? Like, we make entry. Obviously, I got my little pistol, not a stock, on this thing, and I just start shooting like this.
This is clearly something designed more for like protective services things. They're hidden under a jacket. It's more concealable. Not really something that you would, try and go into a gunfight with. It's more like a oh shit handle.
Gotcha. Just pop it out and perhaps maybe a collapsible stock, just deploy it and then start shooting, right?
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's not something I would want to keep in my house for home self-defense. It's a little too short for like clearing rooms. That thing's gonna be loud as hell because clearly not a suppressor on that.
Yeah.
Would not want to shoot that inside of a vehicle either.
Oh, I can't imagine the concussive. Like I have not experienced this one. I've experienced like up to 10.5 inch, but holy crap, this would be probably way worse. But as you said, for a vehicle thing, I
would not want to shoot that from a vehicle. More executive protection hidden inside of a jacket. That's more concealable than anything else.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah, all of these have their own uses. That one would be more for concealable.
Gotcha. All right, so you had 10.5 inch. What other experiences do you have? What other barrel lengths did you use?
I'm going to let you guys talk about these guys in the middle because you guys will be more subject matter experts on them. I did use this one's a 14.5, right?
No, this one's 14.5.
This one's 14.5. Oh yeah, the cute one. So 14.5. I used a 14.5 inch DMR downrange. Daniel Defense made it, and I have reached targets out to 1,200 with that. But that was at like 7,000 foot elevation. Had really thin air.
Okay.
But yeah, I've definitely been able to reach out with a 14.5 inch DMR.
All right.
And that was more of my if I'm trying to reach out, take longer gun, longer shots, but it's still 5.56. If I'm Realistically, I'm bringing something to reach out. I want it to also do a bit more damage. I'm probably carrying a 308 of some sort.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So,
yeah.
so you have experience with 10.5 and 14.5. 10.5 was your more like CQB kind of gun.
Yeah.
And 14.5 was, would it be correct if I say you're dual kind of 5.56 or no?
It's more of a reach out. My dual was more like this guy. For 5.56 guns, I'm not 5.56 gun. I'm not trying to really reach out and touch things.
Gotcha.
That's it. They're all really for closer quarters type things. When I say closer quarters, I'm talking like 300 and in.
Okay.
We've come out with much better rounds since then. The benefits of the 5.56 is it's cheap and there's a lot of it.
Gotcha.
So it's a great gun to keep around the house because you can afford to feed that gun. You can afford to train on that gun.
That's a good point. That 5.56 is not your reach out and touch gun. That's a pretty good point. So
yeah, I mean you can, but the terminal ballistics aren't as good as some of the other rounds that are out there. I'd rather use a 308. If if you're like in Afghanistan or somewhere mountainous, you can really reach out with some of those guns because of the atmosphere. But if you're reaching out, you might as well carry a 308.
All right, so we're talking about 14.5 DMR. Normally, from what I've understood, DMRs are normally like 18 inch, higher than that. But you said 14.5.
Yeah, that's what we ran with in the teams. That was all we had was 14.5 inch DMR.
I love it.
Normally, like I said, if I'm reaching out further, I'm carrying a 308.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
The DMR is a good. You kind of mentioned like all around type of gun, but reality is 5.56. I'm using it more for closer quarters. I'm not carrying it as a long gun.
that's a good point.
But we did
300
have it, and I have been able to reach out fairly far with it.
Okay.
That's really cool. All right, so those are the two that you've obviously used.
I've got the more experience with those two. Yes.
Gotcha. And what I have experience with is 16 inch and 11.5 inch, and we've got the 11.5 inch over here. This is actually a pretty good barrel length. I really liked it. It was light. I had just a traditional compensator or flash hider. It was really good for maneuverability. Doing some CQB stuff, searching homes or buildings. It was really good, and still it was pretty effective for me when shooting up to like 400 or 500 yards. It was for me 11.5 inch was that dual gun because the other one that I had was 16 inch, which we're all obviously very familiar with. Which there's a 16 inch gun right there. It's great. You can reach out and touch things, and you can still do some CQB with it, but still. It's still a little bit too long. Your barrel, you over penetrate with your barrel at times in the corners and stuff like that.
Yeah. When you're clearing the house with it, it is a little long for that. It's not as comfortable. But especially because shooting indoors, I really want to be suppressed then because that's extremely concussive. So,
and then it makes it obviously even longer.
Yeah.
So for me, I have more experience with 16 inch because that's generally what we're allowed for the most part. Unless you jump through some hoops. But when I was obviously on duty, I had the 11.5 inch, which was fantastic. I loved it. It was my favorite freaking rifle.
And you ran that unsuppressed?
Unsuppressed.
Okay.
And I believe full powder burn for a 5.56 is 20 inches, right? About. I mean, that's what it was there, obviously. Yep. All right, so Jason, what experiences do you have when it comes to, or what do you prefer?
Yeah, I prefer a sweet spot in between. I love the 14.5. It is a workhorse. I mean, it's done. Split enough skulls from here to Kingdom Come, but I like something that's a little bit smaller, just a little shorter, i.e. if you do have to do room clearing, but something that is capable of reaching those distances out. And the 12.5 for me has been like a workhorse for that. You still get great terminal ballistics, you still get great BC. It's great, it's small, it can still fit into tight spaces and not be cumbersome. You know what I'm saying? So for that, if I can get a little bit, 250 FPS jump from 10.5 to this, I'm going to take it.
How much more do you get?
250.
250 more feet per second out of
between
2
10.
inches.
Yep, 2 inches.
So 2 inches, you get a couple hundred.
2 inches gives you a little bit more performance.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
So it would penetrate. So it would penetrate further. 2 inches.
I guess so, or
extra
longer over distance. It really depends all on the type of ammunition you use.
Gotcha.
As well. So if you're using some hot stuff, some 77 grain Black Hills, 77 OTM, oh yeah, you're reaching to touch something, man.
Yeah. Okay. 12.5. I mean, it does look like a sweet spot too. Like if you look at it, 12.5 inch, nice length.
That's what she said.
It's good to go.
12.5. That's the sweet spot, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
That is,
and in
I don't
between
believe that's
those
possible.
two, I mean, obviously people say that this is the industry standard, right? 14.5 pin and weld, that's great. But now people want to try and go as small and as short as they can. So they created another barrel length in between, right? 13.7, 13.9 pin and weld. that is the utmost shortest you can go. So yeah, it teeters that NFA line so it stays out of that red tape area. But
yeah. In the NFA, obviously, anything under 16 inches for a rifle, if you want to use a stock, then you have to pay your tax stamp and have it SBR registered and all that stuff. But the NFA basically says you can have up to 16 inches or longer barrel length, and what people do is just a 13.9 right there, and they pin and weld because that's also part of the NFA. If you actually pin and weld a muzzle device or even a suppressor, then that is considered part of the barrel, so you can kind of bypass that and still get that 16 inch with the muzzle device.
Nice.
In this case, obviously, the barrel length itself is 16 inches, and then you put this muzzle device, which is another 2 inches or so, or 3 inches, then you got yourself a 19 inch in length, which is not good. We want to save as many inches as possible. In this case, less inches is better. So 39 plus pin and welded.
There you go.
Perfect.
And here we go, stepping up to what, an 18 inch, normally what people would say a long range setup per se.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done plenty of recce, so you can talk to, what bullets do out of longer barrels and have that extra little dwell time to help with that. So
yeah, I mean, the benefits of like having 14.5 inch DMR is that it's lighter than a 308 gun.
Right.
So if you're trying to carry something lighter, that's perfect for that. But yeah, pushing out to 18 inches, obviously you'll get more powder burn, more muzzle velocity. You'll be able to reach out further. But my question to everyone is a 77 grain projectile reaching out really what you want? I don't know.
Yeah, risk versus reward, right? Yeah. Yes, you're going to get more powder burn. You're going to have more velocity, perhaps reach further. But as Neil said, it's 5.56, right? The terminal ballistics are very obvious. That's why the Army's NGSW program, where they are like, you know what, we're questioning the capabilities of the 5.56. Let's just go to a different caliber. That's when the 277 Fury started coming out, right? To me, personally, I think 18 inches is just too much, right? From what I get out of a 5.56, I'll be with you. 14 and a half, it'll get the job done.
Yeah. 14 and a half or
still have all the benefits of a 14.5.
10 and a half suppresses.
Yeah, there's that. And also, exactly, when you're picking up the barrel length, you really do want to shoot suppressors, especially nowadays. Suppressors are becoming more mainstream, which is really good. I'm talking about even for civilians, even law enforcement.
I think clearance on them right now is like less than a week right now.
Isn't that crazy?
That's what I was hearing.
Look at how far
I shouldn't have said that. I mean, now everyone's going to be buying suppressors and it's going to go back to 2 years. But
yeah, no, right. Yeah.
Here we go, back to the granddaddy that started them all, right? The 20 inch.
Yeah.
America's rifle. Eugene Stoner, we appreciate you. So aren't you glad we don't use these anymore?
I mean, we've come a long way.
Yeah, we've come a long way. But hey, imagine in the 50s, right? These things.
The Marines still use them.
Yeah, true. I think they still use them, right?
Still got them in inventory.
But still, I mean, think about this machine, man. This was out there in the 50s, and it's an amazing platform.
It is.
I mean, we haven't altered it that much to really look at that compared to, this guy. Like, what have we changed?
Nothing. Things just got fancier. We, added things that you can either agree or disagree.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about the forward assist?
I hear you.
I don't really think about them. It's not really like, oh man, did you see that guy's forward assist?
You know what Clint Smith said? Clint Smith said that if it's not in there, why would you just jam it in there further? You're just going to jam the gun further. Just clear it out.
I mean,
That's what we said, but I know that
I've had some dirty guns where you don't seat it enough. Yeah, sure, forward assist will help. Is it really in the way? No. I mean, why do people care?
Some people say, oh, you have to, this gun doesn't have forward assist.
Exactly, it doesn't.
They're like, you know what? Don't ever use this gun. Some people literally, on the internet, they're like, I would not use an AR-15 without a forward assist. I need that thing. I need to make sure that it's seated perfectly at all times. For me, personally, I don't care. I mean, I've got AR-15s that's got forward assist, and ones don't.
Why did people care about taking it away?
I think to make it more slim profile. What do you mean?
I mean, why did we ever design a gun without a forward assist? What was the benefit?
I don't know. I'm thinking about saving weight, slim profile, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I mean, I've never really thought about forward assist till you just asked me, what do I think? It's like, well, I mean, I've used it when my gun's real dirty and I send it forward. I'm like, yeah, just jam that.
Right.
But then now I'm thinking the time where I've looked at it, it's a little dirty and I don't have a forward assist. I'm like, kind of wish I had it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've never really thought about it. But now, what was the purpose of us doing away with it?
Yeah,
I don't really see why. And love to hear the comments.
Yeah. Let us know in the comment section. What do you guys think? Forward assist versus no?
Yeah, against. What about dust covers? I mean, amen.
I like dust covers.
We could get deep into the weeds on that one.
What do you think about dust covers?
The MP5 doesn't have a dust cover. So,
Okay, what does that mean?
and it's
Completely different profile.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still one of the most reliable platforms.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they're necessary. I mean, some of them say something cool on them. Yeah, you know,
Yeah. Like, think about this. Like,
America.
like America, or get some.
you say something right here, like, F you, pay me.
Link-
That's the purpose of the dust cover. You know what? Now they're cool.
That's exactly right. But yeah, overall, I mean, there's multiple different barrel lengths. Obviously, you guys got to pick what's best for you. We gave you our opinions on what we've used, what we have experienced, but depends on what you're doing.
Yep.
Really, that's what matters. If you're one of those guys out there hunting hogs and from a really great distance, maybe get a longer barrel. But if you're at home, kind of want to do all thing like you said,
Yeah, I think
14.5.
14 and a half is 14.5 is good.
Yeah. There's a express.
There's
guys,
no,
at 5.56.
I'll be honest, there's no right answer.
I agree.
No, it's completely shooter preference. It's what you want, it's what you're comfortable with. If you're a big ass dude and you're like, I feel comfortable carrying a bigger gun for CQC, then, you know.
But for CQC,
Buy what you
in my
want, man.
opinion, like you express that thing, man. Somehow,
Yeah.
just get a suppressor for it. It's really concussive.
Yeah.
You know, and some people run brakes too.
It's
on
unsophisticated too. I mean, terrorists are the ones that shoot people unsuppressed. We don't do that. We're civilized.
Pinky out.
Yeah, pinky out.
5.56. Wow. Okay. So I will
More
have to get
elevated
suppressors
whale
now.
neck.
So
Yeah, I mean, shooting suppressed is more civilized. That's all I'm getting at.
that's right. Just be nice to your neighbors. Don't wake them up
Yeah.
when you're taking somebody out. Right? That's what it is. But anyways, let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Neil, really appreciate you
Thanks, guys.
coming out here and actually giving us your perspective.